Alright guys, Four-Wheeler Doctor back again. I'm not sure if I've already started a video on this one, or I don't know, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But again, this is the 2016 Foreman 500 Rubicon, putting some high lifter control arm bushings. I know I had a video on them, but I can't remember which camera it's off of, so we'll try to get all these intermingled together. But got those lower control arms on. Finally got some parts in. I'm going to be replacing the ball joints. This is kind of halfway already taken apart when I got it. So I'm going to get the ball joints out as well as the wheel bearings. This, like I said, these are already had cotter pins out. This ball joint here is not all that tight, so I hope somebody's had this off recently, because it's not tight. So what I usually do to get that bottom one off, it's usually the tougher of the two. And naturally, actually I say the bottom one, this is actually the top one, because this would normally be bolted in here like this. So I just pulled it all off at one time, thinking I could get the control arms on a little easier, and I think it did help. So what I usually use is a 6-inch extension with a swivel on it, 17 millimeter. So you want to take that cotter pin out and hit it with the impact. This one here might not be quite as hard to get off as some of them, because of the sheer fact that it's already been loosened up. You can see it's already backed off pretty good. And what I use to take these things off is this type of ball joint separator. Works pretty dang good. I've used the ones with the forks and all before, but they always tend to break the boot or bust the boot when you go to pop them off. So what you want to do on these is just loosen the nut up to where it's right at the end of the ball, and slide it over. Actually, this one broke loose. It's not even in there. So I'll see if I can't. The other side maybe is stuck out right, so I can actually use this. But that's what I use. I'm gonna go ahead and get this nut off of here. I'm gonna probably have to use two hands, because I'm gonna be knocking my teeth out with that swivel on that 17. So let me get that off, and I'll cut the camera back on. All right, guys, back again. This one on the left side of the bike, it actually is still stuck in there. So I loosened the nut up on it until it was right flush with the end of the shaft. And then you take this ball joint separator and slide it over there until the finger hits it. You tighten it down a little bit with your hand until it snugs up, and then hit it with the impact until it pops off. Hopefully I got this going the right direction. Yep. Just like that. See, then the nut's loose. Take the nut off with your hand. Your ball joint comes off. I'm going to press these things out. I actually have a little press here that works great with them. Some people just beat them out. I know beating them out's not the best way to do it, but it's all some people have. You just have to take that snap ring off the top there. You can see it. And then there's also a snap ring on these as well. I actually don't even, I think they've already taken the snap ring off this one, but I don't see the snap ring. And the problem with these things is the boots tore up on them pretty bad, but they have play in them. The top ones aren't. That one there is actually pretty tight, but this one here, you can see my fingers moving on it. It's got some play in it, but they need to be replaced. Alright, I'm going to rig up something in the press, and then I'll show you what I use to get these out. Alright guys, this is what I got rigged up. Press these out of these top A arms. 1 5/8 socket. This is another one in 3/4 inch drive ones that I have. And this is a 21 millimeter in my little press here. It's not quite square, but it still presses it out pretty easy. So all you do is crank it and see it popping out. Just make sure you get that have that snap ring out of there, and it'll come right out of there. Let me get these out and I'll show you what I do on the knuckle. Alright guys, figure I might as well just press this ball joint in while I got the press kind of halfway set up for it. So I'm going to knock this one back in. This is on the upper control arm. I use the 1 5/8 3/4 inch drive socket on the bottom and a 1 3/8 3/4 inch drive socket on top, and just press this thing back in there. Just like that. There's a collar in there that has to bottom out. So you just press them down till it bottoms out. I usually hit it about a half a pump more just to make sure it's seated in there good. And I'll take this apart. That comes off. Your boot's not messed up or anything on your ball joint. This top one's kind of chunked on there. So then these are actually high lifter heavy duty ball joints for this 16 foreman, and they're pretty stiff, and hopefully they'll hold up good. It looks like they got real thick boots on them, and that's usually what the problem with these is. Boot will tear and then get grease in there, and I mean get the grease out of there or mud in there, and it just chews them up. So got that one pressed all the way in. Then you'll just take your snap ring pliers and slide that ring over. I don't even know where mine are right now, but that's what you do. Just slide that over. I usually stick the nut on there just so I don't lose it. And now we're going to do the ones on the knuckle. Alright guys, now we're on the knuckle. Both of these left and right are the same as far as the way the ball joint goes in and out. Just take the snap ring off of it. It's actually already removed in this case. And I don't know of the correct way to do this, but this is what I do and it works. 1 5/8 socket on the bottom, again 3/4 inch drive, and then I just take a 22 millimeter. That's just because that's the biggest socket I have, and a 3/8 inch drive and a 3/8 inch extension stuck through the other ball joint hole, and it lines up just perfect. So it will usually press right out of there. Don't look like it's lined up real good, but let me see if I can maybe get it. No, it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to line it up. Alright, let's see if it'll work again. The my shaft off my press here wasn't quite lined up with the extension. So put some pressure on it. There you go. Pops it right out and it falls off the press. So grab that and stick a new one back in. Alright guys, this is what I got rigged up for pressing these ball joints into the knuckles. It's pretty much just, you can about do it without these. I just put them in there as a precautionary measure, something to hold these ears out, because they will get pressed down some as you press that ball joint in there. So I grab the handle so it actually presses in there very easily. And that keeps it from putting too much tension on those ears on the knuckle. And that's a 1 3/8 on top, 1 5/16 on bottom, and 1 7/16. I mean 1 7/16 on very bottom. And it works, keeps it from mashing in it too hard. So alright, I'm going to do the ball joint, the wheel bearings on these things next. I'll show you how I press those in and out too. Also guys, I hadn't shown it on any of these, but make sure you put that snap ring back onto the ball joint once you get it pressed in there. That helps hold it in. I hadn't shown that, but I just wanted to mention it. I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand, so let me cut the camera off. Hey guys, this is we'll also do the wheel bearings in this Rancher too. This Foreman too. Just snap ring pliers to get this snap ring out. It's on the outside of the knuckle. Let me see if I can wiggle this thing around here. There it is. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I popped it out. And then use a lot of the same techniques to get the ball joints out. I just use these sockets, man. That's about the easiest thing I've found to use. I also have a kit here, ball joint removal kit. It's actually for for trucks, cars, or whatever. There's some pretty handy pieces in it, like this sleeve here that fits right over the wheel bearing, so you can use that to press against. I also keep, so you can see the mess in the floor here, I keep all the bearings I press out, because from time to time I'll use those to press your bearings in and out. So in this case, you got that snap ring off. All you have to do is get you a bearing a socket that'll fit on here. I like to use a smaller one than that. You want to try to press on the inside here, inner race of the bearing. If you press on that outside, that oil seals, a lot of times it'll push in, hit the balls. I've had them push the balls out, push the inner part out and leave the outer race in. You don't really want to do that, so try to push it on this inside portion here. And I need a socket a little bit smaller than this, so let me see if I can find one. Alright, so I got it lined up now. It's a 25mm socket on top, and then that little sleeve that I had on the bottom that fits just right around the wheel bearing. And just press that thing out of there. That one there is actually pretty tight. There you go, falls out the bottom. And this press I'm using, it's just a fairly inexpensive little Big Red 12 ton. I bought it. I was real reluctant to buy a press just because they're usually so big and I don't have a whole lot of room in my shop here. But I found this one at a little tractor supply store type place for like $100. And I have used this thing. I've got my $100 worth out of it numerous times. So it works great and good little press. But that's what you do. Press that out, and then putting it back in is pretty much the same process. Put a sleeve on the bottom of it. I usually put a little oil on the bearing, and then press it back in. I'll cut the camera back on when I start to mash it in there. Alright guys, pretty much the same operation of pressing it out. I have this sleeve under here, 25mm socket here. I did put a little oil on the bearing to help it slide in there, and pretty much just press it on in. Actually a little bit sideways there, but it's going now. The main thing here is you don't want to press on. You got to kind of have a pedestal on this thing for it to sit on, or because you don't want to push on these ears here, because this is cast. It'll break pretty easy, especially when you put much pressure on it like that. So that's how you do it. Put the snap ring back in it. These bearings here didn't come with an additional snap ring, so just use the factory one. And put the nuts back on the ball joints and bolt the control arms back in the bike. I may show a quick video of bolting them in, but this is pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Alright guys, here's the finished product. Control arms on. All the 14mm bolts, top, bottom. This is actually a 17mm on the end of this tie rod. Got the brakes back on. Everything seemed to go in good. Shot a little grease in the grease fittings. Actually, I'm gonna probably put another video up before too much longer. This guy's wanting to ride this thing, so he's gonna come pick it up before I can put the plastics on it. So I had to do them in another day. And also, I'm gonna put some rear wheel bearings in this thing eventually too. But so I'll probably have a video of that. All right. Well, appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you do. And I'll keep putting more videos out there. Hopefully I'll get along something that you're working on. Y'all have a good night.